Division Summer Showdown, Adrian Aquino. For Wiggins Elite, they'll counter with number 0, Caleb DeHaan. Number 2, Jalen Adams. Number 11, John Green. The MVP from yesterday's game against Orangeville Varsity, Kyle Bean. And rounding out the starting five, Josh Davidson. As things get underway, Aquino accepts the jump. Father Henry Carr quick into the front court. Paint attack and initial attack for Father Henry Carr leads to free throws on the attempt by Tristan Brathwaite.
A very quick start for them, just in the very few seconds we just saw. But for a team that hasn't been able to play yet, I guess also the excitement of coming into a fun tournament like this. You're playing at the Pan Am Center here. It's a great gym, so they're definitely coming out with a lot of energy. We can see that super clear right off the bat.
And in a tournament like this, if you're head coach Paul Melnick, you want your team to get into their systems, learn each other, get a little bit more familiarity. Obviously, bringing in a couple of players from other schools from last year. Trust Odia is one of those players. He played at William Academy with Diosa Oliogu and Tristan Darko last year. Here's Adams looking for a teammate. Kyle Bean, high post. Back to Adams, uses the screen. Pick and roll. Disrupted, but a little too handsy. And Khalil Bauer picks up a foul. This Kyle Bean, class of 2028, stands 6'6", and he's got a presence already on the court.
Absolutely, and that's one thing that Father Henry's going to be able to tell from the very start is that they're going to try to get it into those post players because they have the height advantage here. So swarming without those hands is definitely going to be a key.
Aquino with the block on the backside, I should say. Wiggins Elite ball on the baseline. Josh Davidson from the baseline, no good. Rebound corralled by Brathwaite. Caden Jonas into the front court. Dead ball, top side. Travel. Raquel Clayton with the travel. He's coming from Nova Scotia, representing Canada's East Coast. We saw Nova Scotia at the Canadian National Championships.
Yes.
The 15Us had a couple of rostered players that, we'd love to see at a prep program somewhere in the coming years.
No, absolutely. Nova Scotia took a massive jump, I think, this year for both of their teams. They did fantastic jobs.
Absolutely. Ontario claiming gold at the 15U level and silver at the 17U level at the Canada Games out there, and Newfoundland and Labrador. Caden Jonas dumps it off. Brathwaite, top side. Clayton, tween, into the paint, tries to step through two, gets it up and through. Four nothing early here for Father Henry Carr.
And wow, forcing a turnover right there. I mean, just even if the press hardly got started there, you can tell that Wiggins Elite was not prepared for that, and throwing it right out of bounds. Not a great start that they want to see after that loss yesterday, but for Father Henry, this is definitely the start that they're going to want.
Oh, absolutely. The ball's moving, the players are communicating. A little bit of a smaller lineup when you're looking up and down the Father Henry Carr roster, but these players, obviously high IQ players, working on their individual aspects of their game, whether that be the mid-range, shooting from distance, creating off the dribble. Excited to see what Aquino gets going here as a playmaker in the coming minutes. But obviously you've seen it already with Jonas and Brathwaite doing it on both sides of the ball.
And yeah, for them, they're coming in on the last day of this tournament here for the weekend. So you can tell that they're trying to just really jump into it as quick as possible. And of course, they did have that one little turnover with the travel there. But if that can be one of their few and only errors early in this game to get going, then it could be a good sign for them. And Wiggins Elite definitely got to start moving a little quicker, I would say, right now.
Henry Carr, ball on the baseline to trigger offensive possession. They find Bauer. Open side for Jonas. He takes it up with the left. 6-0 Henry Carr early in the 12 o'clock tip-off. We've got 5 games on the slate today, so we're here all afternoon. Hope you'll stay with us. Justin Ehrlich with the ball now in for Wiggins Elite. He takes it all the way to the rack. Doesn't fall. Ehrlich, the National Junior Circuit champion last year. Here's Aquino, and he travels, slides that pivot foot. We're going to go 5 in, 5 out for Henry Carr. See if we can get all these guys. Divine Edibor in. Trust Odia in. Presley Idata in. Aaron Ekoroje in. And Kamar Erkstein. So 5 in, 5 out, the hockey substitution. And Henry Carr looked like they have 3 lineups they could put out there.
No, yeah. They've got a big bench right there, and, you know, that could always be an advantage to never let Wiggins Elite adjust to any of their lineups if they get the chance.
Foul in transition. Presley Idata sticking with his man side for side to help. The help comes over and gets a little too physical. Wiggins Elite's trigger on the side. Looking for Bean. He takes it. Baseline. Off glass. Doesn't fall. Gets his own rebound. He's got a shooter. John Green inside. Swarmed by 4 white jerseys. Jalen Adams can't get it to fall. He gets his own rebound. He's going to pull it from the baseline. Leaves it short. Coming in, Josh Davidson from Crestwood Junior Boys, cleaning everything up.
That was great right there. Not giving up on those plays, but that swarming defense, they're going to have to figure out how to maybe work a little more around the perimeter.
And if your father, Henry Carr, get to the glass on a miss or a make, you got to get those defensive rebounds. There's an offensive rebound for Ekoroje. He dumps it off. Edibor with the finish.
Done.
Out of bounds. And more pressure from father Henry Carr, causing trouble for Wiggins Elite.
5 new players, but still we can see already just by that early substitution, but the same intensity and same press staying there. We can see their game plan. They want to make it as hard as possible for Wiggins Elite to get the ball in at any moment.
Here's Odia, top side, working in the paint. Help comes, disrupted, kicks it out. Erkstein misses everything. They'll kick it back out to Edibor. He's one-on-one top side. Shoulder down, Odia travels, getting those steps moving. And those are the types of turnovers that you want to get out early before the season, right?
Yeah.
It looks, that last offensive possession just looked a little bit rough.
I would definitely say, I mean, there's a good rebound there, but kicking it out mid-air, that could have been maybe a little different there.
Davidson to Bean. Here's Jalen Adams, 6-foot guard, class of 2028. Uses the top side screen, is looking for the roll. It's not there. He's switched on to Odia. Pulls up from just inside the three-point line, overcooked it. Rebound Erkstein. Idata pulls it back out, uses the screen, works back to the right, tucks it, loses it inside the paint. Here's Davidson now. He finds Justin Ehrlich. Foul on the steal attempt. Ehrlich also a Crestwood Prep junior player. Thirteenth foul for father Henry Carr. We've got 6:18 left to go, 8-2. Both offenses looking to settle down into something familiar in terms of half-court offenses. And Henry Carr picks up their 4th foul. It's Kamar Erkstein with the hold. And was that before the ball was inbounded? They're going to keep it on the sideline.
Well, they've definitely got the intensity there, but the discipline to go with it just to avoid those little errors right there. That's definitely something we're going to want to see develop throughout the game.
Ehrlich works top side into the mid. Oh, blocked by Erkstein. Made up for that foul. Odia kicks to the corner. Ekoroje, top side. Marquis Wallace underneath. Looking for a teammate. Knocked out of bounds by Wiggins Elite. Marquis Wallace coming in at the last break there. Class of 2027. Shifty guard who's got great vision. Little confusion on the court here for Wiggins Elite. They get a quick substitution in. Here's Wallace. Kicked it back out to Odia. He's forced back to the timeline. Little zone defense here, a 1-2-2 zone for Wiggins Elite. Shot from the corner, Ekoroje off the mark. And Henry Carr out of fouls to give. over halfway left. So 5:38 left in the first quarter.
Well, that defensive zone for Wiggins Elite definitely helped them with the rebounds there, not giving up any more offensive rebounds, which Henry CARR, we do know that they have a good amount of height on this team, so definitely good for those offensive rebounds a lot of the time, or at least competing for them, so I like that zone.
More effort for the boys in white, making it difficult for Wiggins Elite to even inbound the ball. You never know who's watching. You got to, play every possession like there's a scout here looking to add a player at your position to his team.
Absolutely.
Just wildly dribbled out of bounds. Good defense. Staying in front of the offensive player there, Edibor, keeping his feet shuffling. Here's Wallace. Again, trying to pick apart that zone defense that Wiggins Elite showing. No movement, just wasting the clock right now. Wallace to Odia. It'll swing to Erkstein, back to Karije, who had relocated from the far corner. Odia into traffic and fouled on the lay attempt. Paul Melnick going over it with Wallace, his point guard right now, making sure that he's the guy on the court running things. Directing traffic, telling his teammates where to be as Trust Odia goes to the line for two.
Well, Henry CARR, all of them this entire time have been doing a great job of getting in the paint, which that seems to be one of the biggest struggles for Wiggins Elite right now once they are able to set up in their offense. So I like that press, or the press from them, but the zone from Wiggins Elite I think is definitely going to be able to work, but cutting them off and forcing them to shoot the perimeter shot is definitely the way they're going to want to play that.
.506 left in the first quarter here at the Blue Arrow Classic Day 3. Father Henry CARR ahead 9-2. Wallace with a heel out of bounds. We've seen that a lot on this court, haven't we?
We have.
Those gray lines.
Yes.
They'll get you tripped.
Oh, yes, they will.
More contact and the side evident as it's Isaiah O'Donnell taking the hit. Pair of substitutions as Nana Kwame Gieke checks in for Henry CARR. And in for Wiggins Elite is John Green. One for two from the line is O'Donnell. Wiggins picked up at the timeline. Finds Gieke into the corner. Whip side. Odia from distance. Flush.
That was great recognizing the open man there from Henry. Wiggins, a little bit of a press there and get a little too focused on one side.
Fast break opportunity for Wiggins Elite. What a shifty move. Nice left-handed finish from John Green. That's a travel. You got to make those decisions a lot quicker if you're Divine Edibor. He saw his teammate in the corner who was going to be open for the three, thought the defender was shifting, couldn't put the ball on the deck in time before he got called for the travel as Joel Phillips checks in for Henry CARR. Lengthy, tall player. Put a couple more pounds on him, he can do some damage inside.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Henry CARR, that's going to be their fourth traveling turnover in the first quarter here.
Not to mention they got 16 fouls now.
Yeah, so love the intensity and the pressure, but the discipline, it's got to get there as well.
Nice take to the rack. Count the basket and the foul. Han. He got through three white jerseys to get to the glass and finished with strength. 6'6", class of 2028. Wow.
Well, that could be one of those plays too for Wiggins Elite that helps them settle in a little bit more. They're having a ton of trouble in the paint and trying to get anything going in there, but well, despite the miss there, it's still a good play for them.
Another travel called against Henry Carr. So if you're tallying them up at home, we're up to 5 travels in just the first 6 minutes of this game. Odia turns the ball over that time off the rebound from the missed free throw. John Green working at the free throw line. Tries to create space, finishes from the mid-range. Just absolutely pushed Trevor Owiafor out of the way. Owiafor now kicks it to the corner. Yeke, flush.
That's
15-9, Henry Carr ahead.
We're seeing a lot of their game. We're seeing them be able to cut on the insides, run some plays, but the three-point shooting is also there, so they've got a lot to offer in this matchup.
Hunter Salo works to the left, jump step, doesn't get it to go. Rebound, Caden Jonas. Quickly ahead, Odia looks to the corner. Gieke just hit it from there. Can he do it again? That one rims around. Odia says, give me that. Goes up strong and is fouled. Caleb DeHaan picks up the foul. Second team foul for Wiggins Elite. Odia back to the line. He's 1 of 2 from the charity stripe so far this morning here. Aero Classic Center. Thanks for tuning in on OSBA TV. We want to thank New Balance and the Ontario Basketball for being part of this and putting this on for these kids. And for having us here along for the ride.
Absolutely. We've got a fantastic day of basketball, and we're starting it off really strong with this matchup here.
DeHaan with the rebound off the missed free throw. Picks up the ball, dead ball, ahead of the pack. Blocked at the top by Jonas as Isaiah O'Donnell was looking to throw one down. The dump off finds Joel Phillips, and he sees it through off glass.
Had a well-executed play right there, starting with that Jonas block. That was perfect to not get a little too aggressive on plays like that.
Did you see that fake pass dribble?
Yeah, that was a great way to counter that.
John Green just dropped a defender, laid it in. DeHaan tips it out of bounds, and Wiggins Elite picking up a little bit of steam.
Yeah, definitely. You can see it, and it starts with their bench really getting a little bit more excited here, and a couple subs in for them.
Nick Wiggins, head coach of Wiggins Elite, giving props there to John Green as he heads to the bench. Inbound pass, a little careless. DeHaan going for the steal, gets called for the foul. Sideline inbound play here for Henry Carr. Odia's calling for it down on the block. They didn't see him. Far side, corner, Odia working on DeHaan. There's 3 defenders there. Odia kicks it far side, extra pass to the corner. Clayton, front iron, follows the shot, gets his own rebound. Dump off Odia, easy off glass. Layup lines for Trust Odia. Wiggins has a couple players leaking out. Henry Carr gets back in time to shut the faucet off there. Here's Salo. Working to his right, pulls it back out. The two-sport athlete, volleyball and basketball, Salo, and Wiggins Elite stepping out of bounds. Turnover. We got a timeout. Henry Carr going to discuss how to play the final 2 minutes here, up 9, 20-11. Here in the first quarter from the Toronto Pan Am Center, you're watching the Blue Arrow Classic. It's day 3 of the Showcase Tournament, brought to you by Jamal Murray, New Balance, Ontario Basketball. Beautiful day for hoops.
It really is. This gym is so great, too. I'm sure it's got to be really exciting for all these players to also get the chance to come play here. We know the Scarborough Shooting Stars with the CEBL get to play here, so it's a professional court just as much as any other ones. So, yeah, it's a great opportunity for everyone here. And
I think if you're looking at things to adjust going into the second quarter, if you're Paul Melnick of Henry Carr, you're looking at foul trouble
mhm,
and turnovers by stepping out of it.
yeah,
But be aware.
yeah. Definitely. And they're doing such a great job in these other aspects of like court awareness as to where the extra passes and everything like that. But maybe they're getting a little too ahead of themselves. And hopefully it's just nerves in the first quarter of their first day in the tournament. But they're getting a little too ahead of themselves, causing those unnecessary turnovers, which if they can do that, then it's to really hold on to a strong lead.
Still trying to dissect this zone defense by Wiggins Elite. A lot of movement inside. Got to get that ball going. Aquino. And we got close to a 5-out offense here for Henry Carr. Aquino back to Jonas, and he drains it from distance. Caden Jonas, formerly of James Cardinal McGugan, now here at Father Henry Carr. Larson Falconer, 6'2 guard, class of 2028, finds Salo. Double teams, got to get the ball out. Knocked it off of Henry Carr. It'll stay with Wiggins Elite. That double team comes at you fast.
It really does. And you can see Wiggins, they're definitely trying to adjust that to their own sort of game on the other side too, but they haven't been able to beat it quite yet on their own side.
Tristan Brathwaite gets a foot on that, knocking it out of bounds. So they'll re-trigger the side out of bounds. The ball intended last for Falconer. Couldn't shake far enough. Here's Evan Murray in the corner. Working on Aquino. Dumps it off to DeHaan. Double team. Elevates. Kicks it. Out of bounds again. That time it was Isaiah O'Donnell at the heel on that light gray line.
Always be side too. It's something about where the light hits it, but I think it was 2 years ago during the OSBA championship weekend. We could have hit over 100 out of bounds in that corner specifically in the 4 days alone.
Henry Carr working on the perimeter. Raquel Clayton kicks it back. Khalil Bauer leaves it short. Rebound, put back by Caden Jonas.
He's been doing a fantastic job of always being in the right spot to grab those rebounds and give the little extra effort. That's definitely the big reason why his team has the lead right now.
Under 40 seconds left in the opening 10. Sawari, first couple of minutes on the court, looks down to Murray. Evan Murray, double team comes, kick it back out. Falconer gets it back, elevates baseline, leaves it short, rebound, unable to be corralled by Aquino. It'll stay Wiggins Elite with the shot clock. Should be reset at 14. Right now, it is non-existent. 21 seconds left in the opening 10. Falconer. Keeps it topside. 10 to go. Evan Murray takes it, blocked by Brathwaite, who timed that jump perfectly.
That was perfect right there. I think we've seen 3 really solid blocks from Henry Carr, and I think it's about how can Wiggins try to make what they're doing a little bit less obvious, right? To throw them off a little bit and not kind of tell us straight everything they're going to do ahead of time.
With this distance and 10 minutes, 5-11. Henry Carr opening up a big lead here in the game of 5 from the Toronto Pan Am Center. You're watching the Blue Arrow Classic on Ontario Scholastic Basketball Association TV on YouTube. Stay with us. We'll be back with more action after this.
How's everybody doing today? Come on, make some noise. You made it. You made it to the 12 o'clock game. My name is Michelle Nice, and I'll be emceeing with my boy Jamal, aka Smiles in the building. And anytime you see us, we will
We are set for second quarter action here between Father Henry Carr and Wiggins Elite. It's a 14-point lead for the boys in white currently. Wiggins Elite have the ball to start the second quarter. J.J. Evison here alongside Haley Hopkinson. We'll be here for all 5 games. We've got a great slate today. Code Academy against Dynamic Prep coming up at 2, and then we've got a bunch of games with CIA Bella Vista Stars. Interception. And what about the hustle back there from John Green, who's absolutely been showing out for Wiggins Elite early. He's been doing it on the offensive end. He gets back, hustling defensively.
Yeah, and I think everyone can take a page out of his book right now. I think Wiggins Elite is very much onto something in this game. I just think on both ends of the court, they need to move their feet more, and they need to be quicker because Henry Carr is beating them with their own feet and the ball on top of that.
Feels like a missed opportunity there for Wiggins Elite. Kyle Bean has it, pulling out Trust Odia, working baseline, gets the advantage, and lays it in. Kyle Bean, the MVP from last night's game against Orangeville Varsity. Jonas gets 2 defenders to jump, kicks it out to Odia. A little bit of a pump fake, takes it to the rack, doesn't get it to go. Rebound, John Green, his second in a matter of 30 seconds on the defensive end. Looks for the baseline cutter, and Caden Jonas commits the first foul of the second quarter.
Oh, before that, it looked like they were doing a better job of looking for the extra pass, which is definitely something I think will help out Wiggins Elite a little bit more. I think they're thinking a little bit too much and holding on to the ball for too long when we can tell very quickly in the first 2 seconds of this game that Henry Carr is a quick team and they're going to move their feet quick. So they need to beat them with the ball, if not their feet.
He had Sawari at the line, 6'1" guard, class of 2028. He goes scoreless from the 2 charity looks. Jonas will burst up the court all the way to the rack. You got to stop the ball.
Yeah. Wow, 3 players pretty much running right beside him that whole time, and the fact he's able to stay so calm and cool and collected in that and finish at the rim is very impressive.
Aquino ahead to Jonas. He elevates and lays it in again. Quick transition basketball for Henry Carr, has them up 29-13. Minute and a half gone here in the second quarter. More of that press. Their identity starting to show here in this game.
Well, that's about the last 5 plays that Jonas has been very much the key player on, and that one just the little bit of pressure right there, forcing that turnover, and Wiggins Elite getting that ball out, and another possession for them, and he'll take a well-deserved break on the bench here, but we'll see who steps up and leads this team right now in his absence.
Odia gets swatted on his way to the rack. He'll go back to the free throw line for a look at 2. 50% from the charity stripe so far in 4 attempts. Right now, it looks like Odia has the size advantage against any of the Wiggins Elite defenders. And Nick Wiggins will bring in Josh Davidson, the 6'4", class of 2028 Crestwood Junior Boys player, to match Odia's size. First, we'll rattle through. Second is good as well. Lamar Erkstein back into the game. Drakel Clayton will head to the bench. The pride of Nova Scotia. Ooh, tipped, but it makes its way to John Green. He's picked up by Erkstein, top side. And a double dribble. He was looking for Kyle Bean at the high post. Couldn't get it to him. Idada with the crossover behind, pulls it out. Odia picked up by Bean into the corner. Brathwaite finds a teammate under the rack. Ike Roger kicked it to the corner. Fouls on the pass. Dia works it top side. Ike Roger has a lane, kicks it to the corner. Idada picks up the dribble, finds Brathwaite to the rack with the left, and it rattles through as he shrugs off the defender. And then he hustles back to intercept the lead pass.
I think that's definitely the key right here is Henry Carr is just outworking them with speed and just aggressiveness right now and just disrupting all these plays and not letting them have a seamless play here where they're able to set it up fully and run something. There's a lot of these side inbounds, which they're not having the most amount of luck with right now.
Hunter Salo poking, prodding, kicks it out. Kyle Bean bottoms the three.
There we go. That's a great play for them. It could really get them back on the same page. We saw it in the first quarter that it took that in one play we saw early on to kind of get everyone back on the same page. So hopefully that's going to be that similar type of shot for them.
Erkstein kicks it to Wallace in the corner. Wallace attacks the paint, dumps it off to Odia in the far corner. Doesn't get it to go. Bean with the rebound. Salo now. Head up, looking for somebody. Pulls it out, gives it to Bean. Near side, John Green from distance. Overcooked it. And Marquis Wallace will take it up the court for Henry Carr. Down on the block. Aaron Ikaroje with the spin move. No. Gets his own rebound. Kicks it out. Wallace, no hesitation. And that misses everything.
Well, one thing is that once that shot goes up, not a single Henry Carr player is even debating getting back on defense. They know that they can really fight for those extra possessions and the offensive rebounds, and you can tell there's zero hesitation there.
Khalil Bauer in for Trusto Dia for Henry Carr. Some difficulty for Wiggins Elite to get the ball in, but it finds Josh Davidson. Now Salo. Pushed back to the timeline by Wallace. Working to the left, back to the right, into the corner. That pass deflected by Brathwaite, who's got his hands absolutely in all the passing lanes. 16 on the shot clock. Salo gets it in. Here's Ehrlich. Takes the handoff, drives the lane, kicks it to the corner. Shot is up. Not there. Rebounded by Salo. Second chance, no good. Third chance will fall for Kyle Bean. Brathwaite, top side. Here's Erkstein. He hands it off. Bauer looking for the back cut. It's not there, so Wallace comes up in relief. Wallace to the left. Finds Bauer. Good ball movement here by Henry Carr. Another dump off. Brathwaite from just inside the three-point line. One dribble shot, no. Hunter Salo looking for the touchdown pass. Coach is like, what is that? Turns into a block from Erkstein, who was out of bounds, didn't reestablish before picking up the ball. Could have been an easy lay for Justin Ehrlich, but out of nowhere, Erkstein comes over and swats it away. Divine Edibor checks in for Henry Carr. Shot clock will be reset to 14. Wiggins Elite to trigger. Over the top, Justin Ehrlich. Working to the left, nothing there. Cut off well by Brathwaite. And Brathwaite pulls the chair that time. Fight for the loose ball. O'Donnell will have it. Foul will go against Khalil Bauer. Team second. 33-18 for Henry Carr. 5:22 left in the second quarter.
Well, both teams definitely being better, more disciplined with those fouls. That first one was, they got up there really quick. So definitely better on that note. But I think one thing, I think everyone on Wiggins Elite right now is holding on to the ball for a little bit too long.
Hunter Salo says, let me just get into my bag. Dismisses his primary defender, gets to the mid-range, hits the jumper. A very unique shot form.
Yeah.
Hunter Salo. Hey, but if it works, it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Brathwaite with the response in the left hand off glass. Justin Ehrlich. Hunter Salo here, he attends St. Michael's College. There's a foul going to go against Divine Edibor. St. Michael's College over there in Midtown Toronto at St. Clair and Bathurst. Played with Phoenix Wise, who's off to the west or the East Coast this year to play for St. FX. Phoenix Wise, gold medalist with Ontario at last year's Canadian National Championships. One of the best kind of humans, I think, that I've ever encountered. Just the way that he was raised, positivity, big smile.
Smiles all the time.
Another multi-sport athlete.
Right, with the volleyball.
Just like Hunter Salo. You know, elite volleyball player, great basketball player, as it's showing here. If he can get a couple more inches, develop a little bit more, you know, sky's the limit, whether that's OU Sports, CIS, NCAA. Again, class of 2029. So he's even got a couple more years to come. Here's Bauer. Give and go. Feet set. Shooting practice for Khalil Bauer. He makes the lead 18. That's for Henry Carr. No rest for Henry Carr on the full court press. Salo gives it up. Ehrlich, baseline, the dump off to O'Donnell. Not in the realm of acceptance for O'Donnell. Presley Idata back into the game for Henry Carr.
Well, Justin Ehrlich right now, you can definitely tell he knows what he wants to happen. He wants the extra pass. He wants the press break set up a certain way, but there needs to be a little bit more communication so everyone can really get on that same page. And hopefully, as he sits on the bench just for a little bit now, he can see what's happening on the court and communicate it better to his teammates about what he thinks needs to happen.
Loose ball, fought for, and coming away with it was Divine Edibor. He finishes off flat. Second chance opportunity starting to pile up for Henry Carr here. As Kyle Bean gets to the baseline, kicks it out, and stepping out of bounds, Wiggins Elite turned the ball over yet again. You can see head coach Nick Wiggins there looking down, you know, looking at that line, trying to figure out why it is that his players keep their feet on that light gray line. Quickly, Idata in front, Edibor, no. Here's Salo. Really good in tight spaces. Quick off the dribble, gets to the left. Doesn't get the roll on that mid-range. That pass. Wow. Saved by Brathwaite, knocked off of a Wiggins Elite player. It'll be a baseline out of bounds where Henry Carr has been pretty effective in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't get a better hustle play than that one right there.
And they're going to time out, talk it over, draw up something that they've been working on in practice. They want to see executed in game. It's a 20-point lead. Nearly 4 minutes left to go.
Well, I think before that turnover that we just saw Wiggins Elite have, the press break was a lot better, but it's weird because it's just Henry Carr's speed. This is one of these, a very strong, hasn't won transition basketball with a press break. And that could be something that they could speed up on their end a little bit as well. And they usually have about 3 guys up near the inbounder and then 2 guys down there, but Henry Carr has really figured out their spacing to cut off transition basketball. And I mean, they're going to need some easy buckets and quick ones coming up soon to try to close this gap before halftime. So I think trying to figure out how to make their transition basketball work is definitely going to be a key in these final minutes.
And I think when we're talking about that full court press for Henry Carr, too, you've got to recognize that as soon as Henry Carr's, let's say their assignment, one of their players' assignment does not have the ball, they're going from point A to point B at top speed. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
No lackadaisical running. It's all, good effort. Loose ball, locked away. Data's going to pull it back out. Brathwaite wants it. Salo eyeing the ball. 5-out offense, Henry Carr. Here comes a Weafor to the rack. No good. Rebound, Falconer. Wiggins has numbers. Salo, head up, finds DeHaan. One dribble, looking for Salo inside. Brathwaite comes away with it. It's a 4-on-3 the other way. Idada to the corner. Owiafor looking for space. And he travels. In comes Nana Giecki. Trevor Owiafor out. Having a quick word with Paul Melnick, head coach of Father Henry Carr, there on the sideline. Hunter Salo accepts the inbound pass. Looking to shake Presley Idada. Picks up the dribble, finds DeHaan. He's going to dump it off. High shot off the mark. Giecki with the rebound. Nice pass underneath. A little too hot to handle. A 100-mile-an-hour fastball. And Idada's grabbing his right forearm there.
Out of bounds again there.
Didn't see what happened on that pass. Maybe his follow through hit another player somewhere, shoulder, arm, head.
Yeah.
But Presley Idada's going to shake it off. Meanwhile, Iyad Sawari checks back in for Wiggins Elite. Under 2 to go until halftime here at the Toronto Pan Am Center. It's the Blue Arrow Classic, game 1 of 5 on this beautiful Sunday, September 21st. Giecki finds Brathwaite. Plays his club ball with Monarchs basketball. He'll find Ikaroje in the middle of the paint. Loose ball, unable to be saved, will stay with Henry Carr. Quick inbound pass. Ikaroje finishes the play. O'Donnell gets it right back to Falconer. He's going to kick it to the corner. Shot off the front of the iron. Loose ball. Fought for. 50-50 ball. These are the types of possessions you need to win if you're Wiggins Elite. And Henry Carr comes away with it. Brathwaite is called for the travel.
Well, lots of travel calls here, but I thought that Wiggins Elite on that last press break did play up much better. They had a man advantage on that point, and they found the open player in the corner for that three. It didn't work out for them, but that's what they're going to continue to need to look for and moving those feet quick.
O'Donnell with a pair of blocks. Denying Henry Carr from running up the score late in the second quarter, and that would be free throws for Henry Carr. Again, another quarter where Henry Carr put their opponent in the bonus.
Well, we can imagine that's going to be a big topic of discussion in their halftime little break and talk from head coach is trying to go the third without giving up free shots and easy ones here. And unfortunately, they are lucky that Wiggins Elite hasn't been able to totally capitalize at that line. But again, they're also going to want to talk about that. And
Falconer goes 1 for 2. He'll check out for the final minute and 1 second. Jalen Adams comes in. Here's Brathwaite playing give and go with Edibor. Top side, shot up off the iron. And Sawari will let it go out of bounds. It'll be a side out of bounds for Wiggins Elite. Again, trying to break that press. Who's going to get open? It will be Adams. Right back to Sawari. Loses the handle. Loose ball. Wide open lane. And into the body, Jalen Adams is going to draw the foul and head to the line for 2. Foul goes on Owiafor. Correction, wearing number 12 today is Delano Hanchard. Quickly into the front court. Brathwaite accepts the pass, spins into the lane with the left, leaves it short, fighting for the rebound, goes up for the second chance, and finishes through 3 black jerseys.
Yeah, Henry Carr's done a fantastic job of being able to finish those really difficult baskets there, and it's just the strength and power that every single one of them seem to have.
Another out of bounds called. Sawari with the heel on the line. 10 seconds left for Henry Carr to add to their 22-point lead before the half. Hanchard, 5 seconds left. Gets bailed out with a foul call against Jalen Adams. 2.6 left on the clock. Should be enough time for at least a dribble shot. They're going to bring it back to the side out. Could be a catch and shoot situation. Maybe they'll create some space inside. It's going to be far side. Yecky's got a 3. That one's off the right iron. And we come to the half. 44-22. Father Henry Carr ahead here on day 3 of the Blue Arrow Classic, brought to you by Ontario Basketball Athlete Institute, New Balance. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll step aside for the halftime break and be back with more action here from the Toronto Pan Am Center in just a few short minutes.
All right, how's everybody doing after that first quarter? You guys did, first half. Y'all feeling okay? Wait. All right, I'm looking for some contestants to come down to center court to participate in a little game we have.
Welcome back inside the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center here out in Scarborough. JJ Evison, Haley Hopkinson here with you for day 3 of the Blue Arrow Classic, brought to you by New Balance, the Athlete Institute, and Ontario Basketball. We are set for second half action. It's a 22-point deficit that Wiggins Elite is looking down. Now, they won the CYBL Summer League 16U championship, but they're having their hands full with Father Henry Carr. Why and what can they do, Haley?
I think it's really going to come down to moving quicker. And it sounds so simple, but they're being outworked when it comes to speed and trapping and the press by Henry Carr. I think one thing that they need to do is not be too afraid to hold on to to let go of the ball a little bit too much. We're letting Henry Carr here set up really easily around them, and we know that their defense is very strong. So Wiggins Elite, I think, like we were saying earlier, they need to try to turn that press break into transition basketball, move a little quicker there, and then, of course, just try to find those open spaces and the extra pass will show up.
It'll be Henry Carr with the first look at an offensive possession. Khalil Bauer finds Caden Jonas, and now Tristan Brathwaite, who's been showing out on both sides of the ball here this afternoon. Here's Drakel Clayton to the rack, through the contact, charge the foul to Kyle Bean, give the basket to Clayton, and one opportunity from the charity strike.
Well, very strong way for them to come out of the halftime there. We were able to see, looked like Henry Carr maybe had a shorter halftime discussion there, but I mean,
They were busy being entertained by
Yeah.
the half-court shot competition, as were we.
I think for them, one of their main messages is going to be the discipline when it comes to foul troubles, just especially based off that first quarter we saw, and then of course limiting those turnovers here. But we were able to see kind of behind us the setup that Wiggins Elite had for their talk, and it was definitely more intense, definitely heated. But that's exactly what they need, and their coach is doing a great job of kind of lighting that fire under them. And it's time to hustle a little bit more and really get back into this game.
Kyle Bean, the 6'6" class of 2028 forward. There's a foul, an offensive foul. That'll turn the ball over. Just had the ball down low, and when you're a big, you can't put the ball low to the ground. Any guard,
because that's where
speed.
everyone
Yep,
can have access to. Not everyone can have access to the space above.
exactly. Love it when you catch it high, keep it high, and finish around the rack. And again, he's a class of 2028, so this is going to come with development. He goes to Hillfield and Strathallan College. But already, has the foundation of being a great inside player. Just has to work on the intricacies of his game. The pull-up jumper from the mid-range off the mark there from Clayton.
And we're still seeing no changes with this press Henry Carr's got put on them. It's definitely very intense trying to force them out.
And we talk about Hunter Sallow, and he's a class of 2029, so even more time to develop. But the IQ, right? He's running out of space on the sideline, realizes the double team's there, just elevates, throws it off the leg of a Henry Carr player, and then gets to reset. Kyle Bean with his second turnover in as many possessions. He's frustrated, and you can see that visibly in his body language. He traveled on that last play, but you got to shake those plays off.
Yeah.
Jonas with the turnaround, leaves it short, gets his own rebound, and in one motion off glass and through Caden Jonas, part of the buzzy 2 times AAU Myrtle Beach championship squad in 2025. Great showing so far in this showcase tournament. Turnover. Clayton unable to save it.
The hustle is there, so close.
Shot clock's going to go to 17 as possession was never fully changed. Here's John Green, who had a good first half. Both sides of the ball, defensive, rebounding. Great dribble. Get downhill. Little contact is going to thwart that attempt from Khalil Bauer, doing a good job of holding his own defensively.
Well, we saw in the first half of this game, Wiggins Elite trying to put not a full court press, but a little bit of pressure on Henry Carr to kind of throw off the ball handler. And we stopped seeing that. And we've seen them kind of change their defensive strategy a good amount of times, seeing a pretty solid press that was hard for Henry Carr to figure out. And now it looks like we're seeing a lot more man-to-man here.
Clayton, top side, picked up by Salo. Clayton gets to the lane, elevates, and finishes. Quick first step.
That's why I think the press was, or the zone defense that they had was working pretty well, because this Henry Carr team, they've done a fantastic job at making every single lane available. And they're taking it well and getting to the basket. So maybe switching back to that zone is something we'll see at some point in the second half.
Pull-up jumper, no good. Two black jerseys fighting for the rebound, but it falls to the hands of Aquino. Into the corner. Clayton, feet set, shots up, rattles through. And that's 5 straight points for Clayton. John Green looks for the dump off. Davidson. Shot is up, no good. Bean attacked on the inside. He's going to go for 2 free throws. Foul's going to go against Adrian Aquino. He was the FILA Next Gen Finals MVP again at the Collegiate Division Summer Showdown. Seen a little bit of what he can do, but he hasn't had the ball in his hands too much in this game. Obviously, Henry Carr having 3 5-person lineups and
Yeah.
putting them all on the court.
Yeah, no, limited minutes for him in that first half, but I'm sure we'll see a lot more of him right now.
Brathwaite above the crowd to collect the rebound off the missed free throw. Caden Jonas turning Bean inside out. Pulls it back. Brathwaite top side. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. 54-22. Father Henry Carr. Aquino hands it off to Bauer. Jonas bringing his talents to Henry Carr from James Cardinal McGuigan. Finds Aquino inside. A couple of bounces off the rim and into the hands of Isaiah O'Donnell. Stolen by Jonas. Tries to throw it down and is met at the top by O'Donnell. He'll go to the line for 2.
More plays from Jonas. I mean, defense and offense. Definitely the offense was especially shining in the first half, but already at the end of that first half and early here in the second, the defensive plays are turning into more opportunities for himself, and he's definitely a massive reason as to why this lead is so strong for them right now.
Jonas makes the pair. And now it's Wiggins Elite back on the offensive, looking to add to their 22 points that they had at the half. Hunter Salo, double teamed. Gets the dribble back. Kicks it to Bean inside. Extra pass. Forced back to the perimeter. Turnover. Brathwaite with a full head of steam. A little bit out of control. Could not really gather that dribble back up. He was running into trouble. And here we go. 5 in, now 5 out for Henry Carr. Dallo finds O'Donnell. O'Donnell tries to get the step on Ikuroje, pulls up from the baseline. That's off the side of the backboard. Quickly ahead. Idada couldn't get it off. It'll stay with Henry Carr on the baseline. That was Evan Murray getting back and getting a hand on the ball. Odia inside. Uses his girth to get position. Misses the shot attempt. Going back to the free throw line. It'll be free throws 7 and 8 upcoming for big number 32. Trust Odia and Williams Academy of the OSBA East Division made it to the play-in. Hosted a game last postseason. Couldn't make it to championship weekend. Tough competition in the OSBA last year. Ridley College taking it all. They face Houghton Prep in the championship game. Dante Sensori Hercules now out of that program on to Portland University. Odia keeps, misses. Tapped in. No, that one rolls off the rim from the hands of Ike Roger. Odia interrupts that. Here's Ehrlich. Gives it to the far side. Evan Murray from the elbow. He's going to give it up to Bean, who dials it but misses. Thought maybe there was a tip off the Henry Carr finger. The officials say no.
Well, Justin Ehrlich being back on the court for them, he definitely brings a different type of energy. I think he moves a lot quicker, and I think it's the same with him and Evan Murray. When the two of them are out there, it seems like the pace is brought up a little bit, and they really bring that extra element of hustle. So I think that could really be a big help to them right now because it's time to start really trying to push for those bigger plays and big baskets here.
Jalen Adams working to his right. Picks up the dribble, looking for Bean. Odia with good defensive positioning. Good pass ahead, but then turned over. Presley Idada had an opportunity to put it off glass. Looked for the extra pass. Nice cut for Murray. That's no good. Too strong. Odia on the near side. He's going to walk in to the three-point line, pick up the dribble. Kamar Erkstein looking at head coach Nick Wiggins in that white shirt thinking he's a teammate. No, he's the opposing coach. Idada. Loose ball. Odia, it's an over and back situation. So, you're just barely on one side of the line. You're trying to get it to a teammate streaking from the backcourt. Paul Melnick giving instructions to his players on the court. O'Donnell gives it back to Bean, working inside, finishing with the right underneath the outstretched arm of a few Henry Carr players.
Yeah, that was a great play right there. It had the speed and everything.
Roger into the corner. Erkstein, no good. O'Donnell with the rebound. Finds Bean, and they'll settle it down with Ehrlich. He gets it quickly ahead to Jalen Adams, and that falls in for three. Udata calls up Edibor. Ignores the screen, gets to the midi, pulls up, and that's off the rim and through. Got to make the decision on whether to hedge the screen and force a player to the three-point line a little bit earlier. Through the defense for Wiggins Elite. Bean wants it. Bean dials it. Bean drains it.
There you go. Those are three back-to-back really great offensive possessions for Wiggins Elite right now.
Odia turns the corner, up and under with a little English. Trust Odia has become one of the standout players early for Henry Carr here in the second unit. Pounding defense out of bounds. And these out-of-bounds plays for Wiggins Elite haven't really amounted to much.
Yeah. No, I think once this tournament is all done, that's something they're going to have to work on a lot to prepare for what's next to come for them. But, they've done a great job of, Henry Carr's done a great job of forcing them to be in that uncomfortable situation because they could tell pretty early in this game that wasn't something that was their strong suit.
34-point lead for Henry Carr, 2:44 left in the third quarter. 3 team fouls for Wiggins Elite, just one for Henry Carr here in the third quarter, and that was one of your points of emphasis
Yeah.
after the half.
Yeah, absolutely. And they did have a very strong first half, so you can imagine that, especially when you have so many guys, so many different rotations, everyone's trying to get their foot into the game. That one thing for everybody is those turnovers. So they've done a fantastic job at limiting those, and we've seen numerous less travels in this app already.
If you're in the vicinity, you live in Scarborough, and you're tuning in on OSBA TV on YouTube, why not come down and see it in person? You know, we've got a lot of great games, 2, 4, 6, and 8 o'clock. So every other hour. Coming up next, Code Academy and Dynamic Prep. Then we got Cali Prep and CIA Bella Vista, their EYBL team. Orangeville will be in the building a little bit later, taking on CIA Bella Vista, the grind squad, and then Uchenna Academy against the EIBC3 squad from Bella Vista. Again, Bella Vista rostering heaps of Canadian players down there in Phoenix, Arizona. As we get back to the third quarter action here, Ehrlich accepts the inbound pass. Works to his left, tries to body some space. It's not there. Idada gets into the lane and finishes off glass. Here's Evan Murray. Mid-range turnaround jumper. That's no good. Odia pulls down the board. Feels like you have to have cross-country experience if you're going to play for Henry Carr, the amount these players run.
Seriously, they have endless energy, it seems like. And again, it does help when you have 3 full rotations on your bench. But again, these guys have had significant minutes here, and they don't look tired at all. And I mean, yeah, that's a great point of their team. If that's their identity, that's their identity, and it's clearly working for them right now.
This time it's just 4 in for Henry Carr, 4 out. The only player to stay on the court is Divine Edibor. Here's Ehrlich. Working to his right this time. Sound defense from Delano Hanchard. Not letting Ehrlich get to his spots. They look over the top for Caleb DeHaan, but that pass is out of the reach of the 6'6" class of 2028 forward. Marquis Wallace calmly over the timeline. Perimeter ball movement finds the hands of Edibor. He's picked up by DeHaan. Now it's Hanchard. Joel Phillips. So Wallace working baseline. Wallace has no one to give it to, but he kicks it back out to Hanchard. 7 on the shot clock. Extra pass. Edibor leaves it short. DeHaan with the rebound. Double teamed. Loose ball. Up and under. That's going to rattle away. Loose ball again. Murray quickly ahead. O'Donnell throws it down. The over-the-top pass intended for Joel Phillips. Knocked loose by Caleb DeHaan. Unable to corral it was Wiggins Elite. And it will be Henry Carr basketball baseline to trigger. Wallace. Gecki, top side 3. Side iron. Saved. Loose ball. Unable to be saved the second time, and it will be Wiggins Elite basketball on the side out. 37 seconds left in the third quarter. 66-32. Henry Carr comfortably ahead. Jalen Adams looking for Falconer. Wallace doing a good job of playing the angles. Wallace works to his right, then to his left, gets underneath. Can't complete the play. Falconer out and on the run. Brathwaite picks him up. Turnover. foul going to be called on the reach-in. And that will go against Jalen Adams. So the fast break for Wiggins Elite leading to a turnover again.
It comes down to the execution of it, and they're not able to get what they want done. You can see what they're trying to do. They had the extra man there, but Henry Carr's just too fast. They're too fast of a team. They can see everything that's happening before it does, and so those long passes have not been able to work out for them, which is, again, the big reason that transition basketball hasn't been there for them.
Yeke hits the first of two. It's a perfect trip to the charity stripe that time for Henry Carr. And the foul will go against Yeke. 6.1 left. Foul corner to inbound on the near side. Another foul. The 2 fouls on Yeke in less than 2 seconds. Having a quick word with head coach Paul Melnick before picking up his assignment. Falconer gives it back to Murray. He leaves that jumper short. 10 more minutes to play. 68-32. Henry Carr ahead. You're watching the Blue Arrow Classic, Day 3 from the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center. We'll be back in a few short minutes. Ten minutes of action left in game number 1 of our 5-game slate here on the third day of the Blue Arrow Classic. We are now at the Toronto Pan Am Center. The first 2 days took place at the Athlete Institute up in Orangeville. Henry Carr ahead 68-32 with possession. Wallace into the corner. Brathwaite gets to the lane with the left, no good. DeHaan with the rebound. Foul called underneath the basket. That's going to go against Joel Phillips. Didn't see much of Hunter Sallow at the end of that third quarter. Here he is now to start the fourth. One of the primary ball handlers for this Wiggins Elite squad. Again, class of 2029. So lots of development still to come. Stolen by Delano Hanchard.
Yeah, still a good amount of development for him, but he's someone that understands that if you move off the ball will eventually find you. I feel like he's never really just standing there, and that's contagious on a floor like this. So definitely a good time to bring him in now, try to get this game a little bit closer here. And if not, be able to catch up maybe at this point, still try to figure out what's going to work best for them. And I think moving around a lot more is going to do them a world of wonders.
Well, here he is with the ball now, working on Gieke. O'Donnell finds DeHaan, the handoff to Salo. Picked up by Hanchard, and an out-of-bounds call on the pass. Paul Melnick, his team's up 68-32, but still finding things that the team and the players need to work on as they head into their season.
Well, definitely. And you've got a large roster with a lot of very talented guys. So I think now's a good chance for him too to kind of figure out and feel out which rotations are going to definitely work the best for him and who's kind of he's thinking is going to run the show a little bit.
Brathwaite with the one-handed jam, getting the crowd off their feet here at the Pan Am Center. Fouled on the lay attempt. Isaiah O'Donnell will go to the line for 2. And Tristan Brathwaite, just an absolute monster.
Oh, yeah. All game today, from the very start, he was having major impacts. And whether it's kind of helping on defense, specifically offense, or just massive plays like that to get his team excited and hyped up and get everyone a little more energized, it's all extremely important. And he does a great job of boosting the team morale for sure.
Marquis Wallace. Bender gets to the second level. Tries to go under the outstretched arm of Josh Davidson. Doesn't see it through. It'll stay with Henry CARR on the baseline. Mike DeGiorgio in the building, head coach of the Scarborough Shooting Stars, and of course, Royal Crown Basketball. See him right there with Drew Eubanks from On Point Basketball down on the baseline. Here's Brathwaite with the handoff. Hanchard turns around, and that's one too many steps.
Yeah, and like you're saying before, coach is still not happy with that one, regardless of the score. They've had too many travel calls in this one, and it just, whether it's still that excitement or just thinking a little too far ahead of time, you got to contain that.
Here's Salo. Finds O'Donnell. Back to Salo and back to O'Donnell. Love that give and go. O'Donnell's got the lane, and he lays it in with the left hand. Patience is a virtue, they say. Oh, Gieke breaks the ankles of Salo and drains the 3. Put that on the highlight reel. You're going to see that on multiple pages later today.
Absolutely, you will.
O'Donnell tries to create space. Foul goes against Marquis Wallace. There was no way he wasn't shooting that out.
No, there's no way he wasn't, and the Henry CARR bench still can't believe it.
Here's a steal. Here's Hanchard. He sees it through. Zawari gets the double team, finds Salo from just inside the three-point line. That misses it all. Looks like Kyle Bean's going to get back to the scorer's table to check back in. Looked like a clean strip from where we're sitting, but Caleb DeHaan gets called for the foul. Travel called on Erkstein, so turnover. We'll have another substitution for Wiggins Elite. Salo will head to the bench. John Green back in. Zawari works down the right-hand side. Elevates, tries the finger roll, not there. Wallace with a burst of speed. Finds Hanchard, no good. Fighting for position. It's going to go against Kamar Erkstein, and he was fighting there with Kyle Bean. Quick inbound. Finds Josh. He's going to find John Green, who attacks baseline, kicks it out. O'Donnell dials it from deep and tickles the twine.
That's a lot better for them. Those are good plays there. Sometimes, even when they do have the open look from the three, if they're not comfortable taking it, they're dribbling in right towards more and more defenders, which is why that extra pass is so crucial to find who is comfortable to shoot that three. So that's a good example of that right there.
Green to Bean. And now Davidson working on the smaller Wallace. They're going to keep the ball moving on the perimeter. Sawari inside, left hand, off glass. Wallace uses the screen, picks up the dribble, finds Brathwaite. He's got time and space. He thought about it. Giecki. That misses everything. Brathwaite going into the media team down there on the baseline, trying to save that loose ball. Everybody looks like they're on high alert. O'Donnell quickly ahead to Green. Green looks off a couple of defenders, dumps it off. Davidson gets one in the air. Patience again. And now scoring coming more frequently here for Wiggins Elite. Might be too little too late, 75-43. But you always want to end the game on a positive note.
Yeah.
It's a steal by Sawari. It's a 2-on-1. Davidson calls for it. Davidson just lays it in again. Nothing flashy. Get the 2 points, get back on defense. Wallace, Hanchard, into the corner. Erkstein, flush. It's a 3-on-2 with a 4-on-2 developing. Davidson, Euro step, bounce pass, O'Donnell. And what is Henry Carr doing defensively?
Doesn't look like enough right now. Wiggins Elite, though, they're doing a great job having a little better luck with any sort of press breaks and finding that extra pass. But you're right, it does look like Henry Carr is not having that same hustle on defense that we saw just minutes ago.
Wallace picked up by Sawari. Gets to the second level. Leaves it short. Leaking out was a couple of Wiggins Elite players. And Brathwaite gets the rebound for a second chance opportunity. Here's Sawari. It's a 2-on-1. Sawari's going to keep, and he's blocked on the backside by Erkstein. And Kamar Erkstein can get up with the best of them.
And there's that hustle that was just lacking in those couple plays right there.
Wiggins Elite ball, baseline out of bounds. John Green with a flurry of moves, finds Davidson, top side, picked up by Erkstein. Tries to shake him at the free throw line. Green forced to go to the wing. Double team, finds Davidson, squares up, gets to the rack, leaves it short. And Presley Idada gets knocked out of bounds to disrupt the fast break offense. 4 minutes left in this contest. Up next, Code Academy taking on Dynamic Prep. That's a 2 o'clock tip-off right here on the OSBA TV on YouTube. About a half an hour from now. Lots of basketball news across multiple leagues. Obviously, Asia Wilson winning her 4th MVP. Did you see the award presentation, Haley?
I did. It was awesome. She looked so happy.
Bam Adebayo sneaking into the practice facility to award that to her with Kathy Engelbert there. Obviously, Rookie of the Year, Paige Becker's got hers on the Jennifer Hudson show.
Yeah, no, that was a really good surprise.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was good. And then, of course, we got co-defensive player of the years.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero out for the first 3 months
Yes.
for the Miami Heat. That's a tough field as well. They have a very, very tough schedule at the beginning of the year.
They definitely do, but I really can picture him just like causing havoc when he gets back. I think he's gonna really take it to heart, him being gone, and then come back.
You know whose stock rises with that? Former Toronto Raptor Norman Powell
Yes.
out there in Miami. He's going to see a lot of shot attempts. I'm thinking probably something close to 25 or 30 a game.
Oh, absolutely. And
at
I
least
mean,
early on.
he's been doing fantastic with Clippers and stuff, so it's a great opportunity for him.
Well,
Excited to see.
The Clippers are, that news that Pablo Torre spoke about the Kawhi Leonard stuff. As there's a nice lay in there from Adrian Aquino with the left hand inside space. Good ball movement there by Henry Carr.
Mm-hmm.
They can go one of two ways. Adam says there's nothing there, or
yeah,
they're gonna
there's
get
no
slapped with
gray
the biggest
area here.
punishment
Yeah,
in league history.
yeah, no, could be very crazy. And then of course, us all here in Toronto are hearing all this news about stuff coming out about Kawhi's demands with the Raptors. If you're gonna do this, you better get me blank amount of millions of dollars in endorsements and this, and that. And everyone's like, did we dodge a bullet here?
I mean, he hasn't really played too much since that
No.
championship run back in 2019.
Yeah. Yeah, his health, Raptors fans were very lucky with his health and everything that year for sure. Even though it didn't always seem great, we thought, oh, this is brutal. It's actually the best we could have gotten.
They managed his health pretty great to get him to the level that he needed to be at for the championship run. And obviously, if things go your way. Erkstein from distance, back iron, loose ball. Aquino taps it to a teammate in the corner. Clayton tries to kick it out, swallowed up. Justin Ehrlich quickly ahead. Sawari, spin move in the lane. What a finish for Iyad Sawari. Just using that feel in those moments.
Yeah, we're seeing Wiggins Elite get a lot more crafty here. It might be because this game is a little too far out of reach here, so they feel there's less pressure and they can get a little more creative. But just look at the ball movement. The way that that's really elevated in this fourth quarter here is incredible.
Clayton with the Euro step, gets his own rebound. Goes back up for the second chance, not there. Evan Murray with the rebound. He's going to push the pace up to the front court. Under 2 minutes to go left in this contest. And that pass picked off by Presley Idada. Quickly ahead, Aquino, extra pass, gets it back off glass. That's give and go basketball on the fast break. Executed to perfection. Jalen Adams. That's going to stay with Wiggins Elite. Correction on the floor. That's going to go to Henry Carr off the miss. Change of pace. Idada coughs it up. It's a 3-on-1. Sawari. And hustling back there on that one, Aquino and Erkstein doing a good job of showing head coach Paul Melnick that they're, always going to be putting the energy and effort first, regardless of the score. Now 82 of 51, under a minute 20 to go in the fourth quarter. Justin Ehrlich kicks it out. Sawari 3, front iron, rebound Erkstein. He'll push the pace. Middle of the floor, kick it out. Drexel Clayton into the lane. He'll go to the line for 2.
Well, from the very, very start of this game, we saw Henry Carr really establish who their team is and what they represent as a team altogether from the very start, which is speed and of course putting on the pressure in any way possible. And it was really all that pressure and forcing those turnovers that led to fantastic offensive abilities, but there wasn't too many intricate plays that we saw from them. It was truly using that hustle and turning that pressure into their own offense.
60 seconds left. Second chance opportunity, no good for Wiggins Elite. Alex Raskovich will go to the line for 2. Another class of 2028, 6'4" forward. Wiggins Elite, obviously, the younger team here. A lot of class of 2028s. one class of 2029, Hunter Sallow, and he is
Mhm.
arguably one of their best players.
Oh yeah, well, absolutely, and that's the thing. They'll all get to develop together, and they've got a great baseline for where to start. But there is, of course, a lot of room to grow.
Meanwhile, this Father Henry Carr team, a year older, class of 2027s. Obviously, the physicality, the size, the IQ comes with one extra year of training. And getting it to the rack again, Drakel Clayton, the pride of Nova Scotia. The steal, Khalil Bauer finds Aquino, blocked at the top. Lead 3-on-1. The dump off, the lay in, left it short, hit on the backside by Bauer. And Adam goes to the line with 13.6 left. Let's see how Henry Carr decide to play this last possession. They'll break the timeline. Idada picked up by Suwari, just going to dribble it out. Game 1 of day 3 here at the Blue Arrow Classics is in the books. 86-54, a behemoth win for Father Henry Carr over Wiggins Elite. Obviously, we touched on a lot of the storylines, the younger squad,
Hmm.
a little bit of a learning lesson for Wiggins Elite, but
Yeah.
Henry Carr is one of those teams that look like they have formed an identity and are
Yeah.
playing to that identity.
Absolutely, and that's one of those identities that it's not a secret, but it's so hard to beat because it just comes down to effort and how willing you are to push yourself. And for them, their first day here in this tournament, great way to really make a statement for themselves. And yeah, they played a fantastic game from the start.
The MVP presentation is coming up here shortly. And if you had to select one player from each team, Haley, who would it be?
Oh, it is really tricky. I mean, someone for me is Caden Jonas. The entire game, he was extremely consistent, and especially in times where not that the game was ever too close to each other score wise, but just if the playing level was down for their own side a little bit, he's always there to elevate it. And the other side, I think there's a lot of guys that could really get it here. I mean, Justin Ehrlich, I thought he always really electrified the team when he was on the court, but I could also see it going to someone like a Hunter Taylor, which could also be a good little confidence boost for him, right? He played a great game, and
Starting with Wiggins Elite, it's going to go to Isaiah O'Donnell. Isaiah O'Donnell did show up there in the second half, did a little bit more playmaking, shooting from distance. So earning the MVP. Like you said, you can look up and down this roster. It could have gone to anybody.
Oh yeah,
Isaiah O'Donnell, the 6'2" guard at a class of 2028, getting the honors in this one.
Yeah, you can make a case for everyone. They played a great team basketball. I just think that they weren't able to catch up with Henry Carr because of that speed. But once they can do that, it's going to come.
Trust Odia, that massive second and third quarter, earns him MVP honors. Class of 2027, Trust Odia, built like a linebacker that could be playing collegiate football, probably. He gets the MVP honors for Henry Carr. And again, could have gone a couple of ways, Tristan Brathwaite, Caden Jonas.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see Trust Odia getting a little recognition here with his new squad, Father Henry Carr. Tip-off for the next game is at 2 p.m. It's Code Academy taking on Dynamic Prep right here on OSBA TV on YouTube. We will be back for that game at 2 o'clock.